The ticket sales for the mega bout between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois were restarted after fruitful negotiations with Saudi boxing broker Turki Al-Sheikh.
Tickets for my fight are now on sale versus Daniel Dubois.
Freaky fine, it's my fault, mate.
Sorry, mate, who are you?
Eddie Hearn.
A poor man's Eddie Hearn.
It's my event, you're just fighting. Don't forget you were just a little pipsqueak out of Watford before you met me, boy.
With a gold medal. You got one of those?
Don't need one, mate. Got a gold kettle. Jeez!
Listen, tickets on my fight versus Daniel Dubois are on sale. Make sure you get yours now. This is my promoter, Eddie Hearn.
Anthony Joshua is seen happily announcing that the ticket sales are restarted for his upcoming fight on September 21st. AJ is accompanied by a poor man's dummy of Matchroom CEO Eddie Hearn. They are both seen arguing over who owns the upcoming battle really. Anthony Joshua is set to star in the biggest fight of the UK in terms of the crowd attendance. Senior boxing journalist Michael Benson has shared that His Excellency is eyeing on making a record in terms of the fans, and he is negotiating with the management of the Wembley Stadium to increase its capacity so that they can entertain as many people as they could. If we look at the highest British boxing attendance in the past, another heavyweight showdown comes on the top. Previously in 2022, Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte set the British boxing record with 94,000 people in their fight. Moreover, that fight also took place in the Wembley Stadium, which is the biggest in the UK. The size of the boxing crowd is a major factor that suggests that boxing is on its decline. Back in the day, Jack Dempsey had multiple fights with crowds well above 100,000. Mexican legend Julio Cesar Chavez fought against Greg Hogan in 1993 with more than 132,000 people outside the ring. That bout was hyped up by Hogan's statements against the Mexican fighters and turned out to be one of the biggest fights in boxing. This event took place in the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City.
The way I see it is, 60 of the guys he fought were just Tijuana cab drivers that my mother could have knocked out, and but the other 20 guys or 22 guys are good fighters. So, I'm not taking him light, but I'm not taking him as he's unbeatable either with 82-0.
The biggest sporting event of all time was not a boxing match. Obviously, it was a soccer crowd. On 16th June 1950, the World Cup final between Brazil and Uruguay entertained 199,854 people, and the venue was Estadio do Maracanã, Rio de Janeiro. This kind of turnout looks practically impossible in this day and age. So, initially, Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois were set to fight in front of 90,000 fans. But the Saudi boxing chief has decided to make another statement at his inaugural Riyadh season event in London. He told Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren that they were not done selling tickets just yet and started working with the stadium officials. He posted, "Due to high ticket demands, we've requested to extend the capacity at Wembley Stadium for the highly anticipated bout between Joshua and Dubois at the Riyadh season card, Wembley edition. We'd hope to set a record for the largest attendance in boxing history at Wembley Stadium." After a poor reception in America on August 3rd, His Excellency was very impressed when he came across the news that all general tickets for Anthony Joshua vs Daniel Dubois were sold out. After achieving this, Turkey moved on to another battlefield with Wembley Stadium. It remained uncertain for some time, but finally, Wembley bowed to the Saudi magnate and increased the seating capacity from 90,000 chairs to 96,000. In sheer joy, he posted about the news on X, "Our request to extend the capacity for a record boxing crowd at the Wembley Stadium for the Joshua vs Dubois fight at the Riyadh season Wembley edition has been approved. Tickets will go on sale on Friday at 12 p.m. UK time." Anthony Joshua is the bigger name in this IBF title fight and has more to prove on the fight night. He has uploaded a recent where he's seen throwing the heaviest blows on his boxing trainer Ben Davison with the most explosive hooks in the business. AJ captioned, "In an industry where respect is earned and not given." AJ's coach Ben Davison is very confident of a victory in the biggest fight at Wembley. He thinks this fight is an opportunity for AJ to become the three-time heavyweight champion of the world. He envisioned AJ's win with a deadly knockout and mentioned,
"Yeah, I do. I'm really confident in an AJ knockout, being honest. I think that Daniel's strengths play into AJ's hands as well as his weaknesses. So I think I like the fight for AJ.
But he doesn't think that Dubois is easy work. Recalling Daniel's tremendous chin in the recent fights with Alexander Usyk and Filip Hrgovic, Ben concluded he's had a few really good wins, he's in good momentum, and obviously he's been upgraded to the heavyweight champion of the world, and it is a great match. Similarly, Don Charles was also preparing his fighter for the upcoming challenge on the 21st. Unlike Ben Davison, Don is a longtime mentor for Daniel. Moreover, the legendary trainer has devised a plan for Daniel to win this fight.
And we've spoken about it often enough, Don, but that night, Daniel virtually boxed his head off. Is he going to attempt to do the same to AJ?
Promoter Frank Warren is also sure that AJ won't pose a threat to Daniel Dubois, and the young Queensberry fighter will retain his IBF title on the night of the 21st. Warren's confidence has reached sky high after the Dubois game against Filip Hrgovic, where he showed his epic comeback skills.
Daniel Dubois has unlimited punching power, of course, but so did Derek Chisora, so did Anthony Joshua. What does Daniel have that they don't?
I think he's got youth on his side. They were all in their 30s, as is Usyk. He's got youth on his side. He's got tremendous. I think he's a bigger puncher than both of them anyway. And he can box, and he's got a fantastic jab. And it's all about, for me, is his frame of mind. Is he going to cope with going into that hostile environment? And I think he can, and I think he will do.
Frank also voiced his opinion about AJ's clash with Daniel at their media session. The senior promoter thinks that Daniel has evolved both outside the ring and inside the ring. Now, he doesn't take any ill words from his opponent. Frank added, "I've noticed a change in him around his last couple of fights outside the ring rather than inside it. When Joshua said something bad, he said, 'Well, let's have it now. Let's do it now.' Joshua said, 'Don't disrespect me,' and the kid just wouldn't have it. There was a massive change in his whole demeanor. Daniel wouldn't back off on him." About the next match, Frank Warren is certain about the result. He envisions AJ under the pressure because he is in the favorite spot in this bout. The Queensberry CEO mentioned this clearly. The pressure for this fight is all on AJ. It's not on Daniel because a lot of people fancy AJ. I've seen AJ win fights. I've seen him lose fights. I've seen him when he's been put on the back foot, and I believe Daniel has the tools, the desire to make that happen, and I think he can stop Anthony Joshua. Daniel's promoter Frank Warren hasn't just predicted this fight. He slammed AJ and insisted that Daniel had already dropped him in the sparring session, referring to their previous sparring session in their amateur days. The promoter said,
"Do you think Daniel Dubois is a bigger puncher than Anthony Joshua?"
Yeah. Ask him. Ask AJ.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they sparred, didn't they? And he knocked him over.
Since his loss to Andy Ruiz back in 2019, Joshua, an Olympic gold medalist, has adopted a more aggressive and ruthless approach both inside and outside the ring. In contrast, Dubois has also gained confidence by standing up to powerful opponents. However, Hearn, Joshua's promoter, believes that AJ will teach a lesson or two to the younger opponent. The Matchroom CEO added, "Both are going to be letting their hands go. Both are very dangerous. Some people call it a shootout, but I think AJ is a top sniper. He's too accurate, he's too good, and if you're going to get hit against Anthony Joshua, you're going to have serious problems." Eddie Hearn told the media that AJ won't be like Filip Hrgovic. He reckons AJ is the flagship of Matchroom stable and considers him a much better fighter who will thrash dynamic Dubois at the first available option. Matchroom CEO also paid his homage to the UK fight fans for filling the Wembley Stadium at such short notice. He concluded his discussion on this note: AJ is not going to stand in front of him like Filip Hrgovic and just ship shots. It's two very dangerous heavyweight punchers in the form and confidence of their careers. For Dubois, the Miller and Hrgovic fights have brought him to the most dangerous point of his career so far. It's not a good time to fight Dubois, and it's definitely not a good time to fight. Eddie's promoting rival Ben Shalom has also turned up to be a Joshua fan. He completely wrote off Daniel's chances in this game and predicted a knockout win for his favorite fighter. The boxing promoter continued,
"I think we say that a lot. What I would say is I'm a big fan of Anthony Joshua. I think it's fantastic to see him back like this. He's a huge star, and I expect him to put in a devastating performance. I actually do. I think, yes, Daniel's had a great 12 months, and it's fantastic to see him have that, especially as a young man, especially after the criticism that he's had. But for me, Anthony Joshua is an elite heavyweight that is coming back into the form that we were used to seeing."
Other than the promoter, the boxing world seems to be hesitant to make any firm prediction about this match. But British boxer Conor Benn is slightly tilted towards Joshua's experience in the mega fight, but he feels that Daniel is a big threat, considering the winning momentum of AJ, Conor clarified.
I think it's a good fight. Like, it's a really good fight. I think Dubois' last couple of fights have, put him in a good position going into this, and I feel like Dubois is a very good fighter, but it's a big occasion. He's actually got the massive name now in front of him in AJ. He's in Wembley Arena, and I feel like AJ's been there before. I think just experience I'd edge towards AJ, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dubois did catch him. You know what I mean? It's one of them, like, I don't know, 60-40 AJ, but it's a great card and a great fight as well.
Daniel Dubois' Queensberry partner Charlie Jean has also come into the predictions for this mega fight. He gave Dubois a solid chance in winning this fight and expressed his desire to have a shot at the heavyweight title of his fellow Queensberrian at some point in the future.
Do you think he beats Dubois?
It's hard to say. It's really a difficult question. Let's see what their training camp looks like and what their preparation looks like. Dubois is on the rise. He's fantastic, and he has something to prove. So I think he might be a better performance on that night.
You give him a chance. You give him a solid chance to pull off the upset, Dubois.
Moreover, Andy Ruiz also shared a similar verdict on the 3rd of August after his fight with Big Baby Jarrell Miller was called a draw. Andy shared some critical advice with seconds out and highlighted the steps Daniel should take down Anthony Joshua.
He just has to believe in himself, believe in himself and believe that he's gonna win, and be smart in there, try not to get hit with these big shots because he is strong, he's big. But anything is possible, man. Anything is possible. Just exactly like I won, anybody else could win. All they have to do is believe in themselves and work hard. Work hard, man, and be smart. I know he is in a two-win streak, right? Yeah. And you never know. Anything could happen.
Former 3-division champion Duke McKenzie also shared similar insights. Duke has boldly claimed in an episode of TalkSport that Daniel Dubois will successfully defend his IBF title in the Wembley Stadium. Duke passed these arguments.
I don't know if he's the people's favourite, and I don't know if he's the booking favourite, and I don't gamble. But if I did, right now, if I had to pick one person to win in this particular fight, I'm slightly leaning towards Dubois.
Duke McKenzie was very confident about his statement and explained that he had made this statement after doing thorough research on both fighters. He made a comparison of the two and concluded, if we look at the last several fights they've had, AJ had the softer ride-in, while Dubois has the more natural athleticism about him. He's more loose than AJ. He would have done his research on AJ and how to beat AJ. Not that AJ wouldn't have done his research on Dubois, but AJ probably would have never thought that he was going to fight Dubois. Daniel Dubois is also very confident about winning the fight and retaining his heavyweight belt. He aimed to achieve success in his division like George Foreman, Mike Tyson, and Muhammad Ali. Moreover, he wants to fight all of the top guys in the division after winning over Anthony Joshua.
How it may have been in the past when you wanted it.
It'll be great now. This is a perfect time. I'm getting these big fights one after the other, so I need to keep building to become the best and get that toughness that some of the great fighters had back in the day. I'm talking like George Foreman, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. They all fought the top guys around in their era, so I need to do that now.
So, how do you see this fight ending? Who is winning on the 21st of September? Would you like to see the winner of this fight squaring off against the winner of Usyk vs Fury? Tell us in the comments, and please subscribe to our channel. It will help us bring more interesting content for you.